Okay, if I can have your attention, please. Denny Hamlin has joined us here in the Pocono Raceway Media Center. He drives the number 11 FedEx Ground Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. Denny's certainly no stranger to this room. I believe he's been in here 4 times in the Sprint Cup Series.
A lot.
Been in here a lot. And he's also driving in the Camping World Truck Series race tomorrow. Like we were talking last night, and some people I was talking to said they thought you had a pretty good chance of winning that race. But I won't tell you who I heard that from. But anyhow, Denny, before we get started on our racing, I understand you have some news you'd like to share with these folks. Go ahead.
Yeah, been excited, for a little while, but I just want to let everyone know that me and Jordan are expecting next January, and excited about that. It's been a long time coming, so it's going to be exciting to be a dad.
Well, from somebody on experience, nothing better than that. Trust me. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
So, okay. Well, we'll take questions. Looks like the floor is open, and we'll start here with Claire.
On that note, and congratulations, talk about your dad. Talk about your thoughts about fatherhood and how you were raised, and what kind of a dad you plan to be.
Hopefully half of what my dad was would be good. My family has done a lot for me to get to this point, obviously, and just all the sacrifices and all that they've gone through. And it's, my dad tells me all the time, some of the best times he had is just carrying around me in his pickup truck, every day, taking me to work with him, things like that. And so it's going to be a great experience, and so I'm really excited about it, and really just excited to be part of it, and for my parents to have grandkids. It's all going to be good. So it's everything works great. Things happen, and we're excited about the timing's going to be in January, so it's the off season. So it's all that seems to be aligning perfectly for us. And so my parents and all live a mile or 2 down the road, so they're going to get to visit all the time. And so it's going to be a great time over these next 6 months to a year.
Steve?
Have you guys set a wedding date at all, or where's that stand? Sorry to put you in a box there, but
yeah, thank you.
That's kind of personal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
no, I mean, especially now that all this is going on, and you want to be patient and everything, and I am 31, so I consider myself pretty patient if I haven't been married yet. So there's no reason to rush into it right now, especially with everything that's going on. We've obviously got a busy 6 months ahead of us.
I waited till 50, so.
Oh, okay. Is it because nobody would put up with you? Or?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Take him.
Pretty much. At least you found someone.
Yeah.
Okay, question over here to the right, Jenny.
Donnie Skip Clayton, ABC. I waited till I was 52 and a half till I got married. But
well, you seem like a nice guy. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I'm just kidding.
Hey, how many? About 40. Danny, you were at the Eagles training camp. Can you talk about your visit up there? I know your boss is a former Redskins coach, but
yeah, it was.
That was the Cowboys.
It was a great experience. I'm a Michael Vick fan. He simply because he's from Virginia Tech, and I'm a huge Frank Beamer fan. He's a guy who's always really admired him, and so to go up to any kind of football camp is just amazing. I've been to Redskins. I've been to Virginia Tech before. But the Eagles was great. All the strength and conditioning guys had tons of questions about, what we go through, how do we train, and things like that. And so it's really been a cool experience to go there and obviously help promote this race this weekend. They look good. For me to catch a pass from Michael Vick while Deshaun Jackson's screaming, "Don't miss it, don't miss it." It was pretty cool. So I tried kicking a field goal, and I thought that 30 yards would be simply a chip shot. We had to move way in and I still didn't make. So it's I found something that I'm pretty bad at.
Then there are a lot of concussions in pro football. As NASCAR and pro football maybe getting together and comparing helmets, and maybe they could cut them down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I can't swear to it, but I think Toyota has something to do with helmets and things like that. I know that they're all working on that, and concussions was an issue over here and then there. It's always an issue, but I'm sure the technology is meshing back and forth. They're constantly changing both the foam in our helmets and the football helmets, so I'm sure that, trust me, it's getting back and forth.
Other questions for Denny? Right back here on the right, and then we'll go to Bob. Let's get the gentleman there in the blue.
Denny, Keith Greller from the Morning Call, a Tribune newspaper. Just your thoughts on being back here again. I talked to you at the Eagles camp last week and asked you about this track, and you've had a lot of success here. You said it really hasn't changed even with the repave. It's still Pocono. But now that you're back here, do you see even some changes from when you were here in June?
It's different, that's for sure. I could just tell, first thing I asked is that, if Goodyear switched a tire. They didn't. So the only thing we can think that's making the cars feel different this time around is that we've got an extra half-inch of side skirt cut off the car. And it seems from my perspective that it's made the cars a little bit looser into the corner. So we're having to adjust for that. So this track always changes. With each win that we've had here, we've had completely different setups in the car. So we constantly evolve those setups, and we're going to have to do it again this weekend. And for what the first practice looked like, it looked like our teammates were pretty good, so we should head in that direction.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. Allmendinger got released from Penske this week, and so now he's obviously going through the recovery program. What do you think are his chances of getting back in a Cup car? And, would you have any qualms racing around him?
I wouldn't. No, I think that, NASCAR's not going to let him back unless they feel like he's 100% ready. I think he'll be back in a Cup car. Will it be a good Cup car? I don't think so. I think he'll get an opportunity, but it's not gonna. It's just so hard now. I mean, when champions of our sport like Matt Kenseth can't find sponsors and things, it's gonna be a real tough road to get back to where you were. He had a really good ride, obviously in that 22 car, and it's just so hard now. There's just these companies are just not willing to take the risk like they used to. Much on a young driver, much less someone with a bad history. So it's going to be a tough road, but I'm sure we'll see him back in the Cup Series at some point.
Any additional questions for Denny? Bob has another one.
As far as the Michigan tire goes, we heard last week or earlier this week that, hey, it's all good. Of course, that's kind of what we heard after the April test. So what makes guys maybe more confident this time around than the last time?
Well, I was there, and the tire that we're going to have is a lot better than what we had there to race with, but not as good as what we had to practice with. But you figured that they were going to be they were going to cut it right down the middle for what they wanted. And the reason I say that we're not going to have issues is that looking at tire temperatures, I know from the test what they were and then what they were at this test, and they are 30, 40 degrees cooler. So I think that you're not going to see, and the temperature was hotter. So I think you won't see any tire blistering like you saw before. Plus the left side wear is virtually nothing, where there was some wear before. So I think that we'll have a pretty easy race when we go back.
Nate's got one down here, Corrine.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Denny, with so many drivers becoming fathers, I guess, in the last couple of years, do you feel any more prepared for fatherhood?
We're all drinking the same water. Prepared. Yeah.
Did you get any tips, I guess, is what I'm asking? Or did you look out in the motorhome lot and see things and think, yeah, maybe I can do that?
I'm gonna learn as I go. I'm gonna have the training wheels on it to start, but I'm sure now I'm gonna get all the advice I can handle. But I'm gonna just lean on my parents. I turned out just fine, other than my head's all messed up sometimes.
Any other questions? Right here.
Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times. Danny, can you talk about the practice in the truck and what it's the difference running the truck on the new pavement as opposed to running the Cup car on the new pavement?
It's quite a bit different. You drive the two vehicles a lot different. I thought that I was a little disappointed with our practice. We were middle of the pack, I guess you could say. But I thought we were a top 5 to 6 truck. But it's different. I ran the truck race here a couple years ago with Elliott, and when Casey and Elliott were in it, and the draft was really important then, and I think it's going to be even way more important now. So I think that you're going to treat it almost like a speedway race down the straightaway, in the sense of, instead of choosing to pass every time you get to someone, you'll choose to push and make your passes. That's how. I don't know, I thought that the 30 truck was head and shoulders above everyone, but the draft is so big and there's so much lap time in it that I think the 2 trucks could possibly draft past the best truck on the last lap.
Any more questions? Okay.
In the truck, when you get around another car, do you have the aero push? What do trucks have that they seem to be able to work better or do more with each other than the Cup cars can do?
Well, they don't have as much horsepower, and they have more drag, and they punch a bigger hole. So when you carry more throttle, it makes the draft more evident. The aero push is worse in the trucks, but the reason that the racing is closer is because they punch such a huge hole in the air that they get the bigger run down the straightaway. So by the time they get to the next corner, they've all botched back up again. And so that's the difference. And at times you look at it and you say, man, the truck series, that kind of package is what the Cup cars need. But I've been in nationwide races where they have the bigger holes that they punch in the air, and I mean it's bad. So I think that where we're at with the Cup Series is good, but the trucks, I just think the trucks put on good racing simply because they are so boxy and so tall that the draft is important at every racetrack you go to. So no matter how bad your truck handles, you'll catch the next guy by the end of the straightaway.
And starts and restarts. We had a problem last weekend. What's your understanding of how to start a race, restart a race?
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. I was somewhat on Elliott's side on that thing. What does he do? But I think that everyone in the Cup race, I was up front quite a bit on those restarts. Everyone was very aware of the lecture that we got in the drivers' meeting, and I think that everyone made sure that NASCAR had no question or needed to question anything that anyone was doing. So I think that that kind of shock that they sent through on that drivers' meeting is what is going to tame us down on restarts, at least for next month or so.
Okay, Denny, thanks for coming in here. Excited about your news, and good luck tomorrow, and good luck Sunday, and good luck